Hey, I want to talk to you about these two movies. The 2012 Lincoln movie, directed by Steven Spielberg, and The Conspirator, directed by Robert Redford. Um, Lincoln was done by DreamWorks, and Conspirator was done by an independent company who has done other type of historical movies. Basically, the reason I'm showing these side by side, because to me they're where one story ends, another story picks up. And, we have all seen movies like Back to the Future. It's just like one continuous story, or like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park movies. They like all are one continuous story. But what's difference between those movies and these two movies is that the other ones I mentioned are done by like one company, where these were done by two different companies. Lincoln, like I said, Lincoln was made in 2012, and stars Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln, and Sally Field as his wife Mary, along with Tommy Lee Jones as Senator Thaddeus Stevens, who's from Pennsylvania, my home state. But in this one, it pretty much picks up after Lincoln gives the Gettysburg Address film. Gettysburg Address down in Gettysburg after the battle, like in November. And it's basically telling the story of how the 13th Amendment was passed in our Constitution. And basically throughout, the last 2 years of the Civil War. But mainly focuses on the 13th Amendment. And one thing nice, there are a lot of good scenes in this. One of the scenes is where, I know I'm giving away spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, is when they're getting ready to vote and African Americans are coming into Congress, sitting down for a historical event, which at the time, you didn't know if it was going to get passed, but, for people that study history know that, yeah, it was passed, but during this time, no, you didn't really know that. But what's nice is that of all the states at the time, in 1864, were voting, either yay or no for the amendment. What I really like about that one scene is the Speaker of the House said, "I like to cast my vote," and I forget which state the senator is from. It was like, the Speaker can't vote, and the Speaker says, "This is a historical moment in history. I am," and the Speaker actually cast his vote for yay. That's like one of my favorite scenes. There's like other ones, but that's one of my favorite scenes in this movie, and this is a very good movie. It's one of I think it's like one of Steven Spielberg's best movies he's done in like a long time. But the film ends with Lincoln leaving the White House, saying like, "I wish I could stay, but I've got to go." And from there, basically leaves the White House to go to the Ford Theater. Then from there, they show another scene with his son, and pretty much the curtains fall down. A gentleman comes out on the stage and says, "The president has been shot," and the movie pretty much ends there. And I think that The Conspirator, picks up where Lincoln left off. So this was made in 2010, and it's pretty much, we see in this one, it starts out with Lincoln getting shot at Ford Theater. and like I said, it picks up right where this left off. So that was kind of like nice. So this is pretty much like everybody responsible for the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and some of the other members of his cabinet. Andrew Johnson, going after Andrew Johnson, the Secretary of State, and along with like other people. So it's mainly a story about here we got the Secretary of War gentleman, and right beside him, this is what the movie focuses on, is the woman right beside him is a woman named Mary Surratt, who is the only woman in our history ever to be hung. And of course, the other two gentlemen on here are lawyers defending Mary Surratt. Like I said, in history, we know that, as you study it, you know that, the men responsible either got hung or were in jail. This pretty much summarized, like, the whole, trial of Mary Surratt. Mainly focuses on her because she was a woman, and they were trying to, like, well, you weren't, the gentleman right beside her on here is the lawyer of her. You might recognize him from like other movies, like if you're a fan of the new X-Men movies, he played Professor X. But I'm really talking about this movie here, Conspirator. He tells Mary Surratt that they're really after your son. If your son turns you in, you'll be set free. Well, she's not going to do that because she loves her son. But you kind of feel bad for her. If you ever watch this movie, you kind of feel like bad for Mary Surratt because she's on trial. You hope that they spare her, but in the back of your mind, if you know the history of everybody responsible for Abraham Lincoln's death, that she gets hung, no matter what. I'd seen this, and I kind of like knew the story about Mary Surratt, her being hanged, but actually like seeing the actual trial, what they did, was like a new, like, wow, okay, now I'm starting to feel like really sad, but I know that she's going to get hanged with some of the other conspirators. But yeah, this plays out these two play very well to each other, because you got Lincoln film done by Spielberg, pretty much ending, going from last 2 years of the Civil War, and pretty much, the trial of his death. So to me, these two are like, if you watch this, I say you gotta go to watch this one, because these are like back-to-back films. Like, if you love this, I highly recommend this, because they play off of each other. These two play off of each other, even though they're not done by the same company, the same studio that made them, but they play off so well with each other. It's like one complete story about the rest of the Civil War. So I highly recommend both of these movies. This way you see the last few years of Abraham Lincoln's life. Then we go straight into the trial after he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. But yeah, you also get to see like backstory about John Wilkes Booth, like different angles, like how originally like they were going to kidnap Abraham Lincoln. You get to see them actually hunt down John Wilkes Booth in this, and like sort of like backflashes in a way of like during the trial of Mary Surratt. But yeah, I highly recommend both of these. Lincoln and the Conspirator. Like I said, they play off each other so well. When I watch them, as soon as I watch Lincoln, it's like I gotta watch the Conspirator, the same day or like shortly after that, or like the next day. But yeah, I hope you like these two movies. If you haven't seen these two, I highly recommend them. and it's like one big story after him. So I'll see you on my next video. Bye.